let's hear more in the next talk on securing the cloud. The distinguished guest address will be delivered by the thought leader and authority on this topic with over 20 years of experience in the field of building technologies and smart plus connected solutions. I'm elated to invite the Director of Business Development, Digital Transformation Office, Cisco, our event partner. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Lokesh Lohiya.
Thank you, Piali, and greetings to everyone from Cisco, and namaste, everyone. It's been a pleasure, and I'm attending this third session, virtual session, in the last 15 days, right? So this is what we see today as a new normal, right? I don't think this was very familiar probably 1.5 years back, but I can tell you that for last 1.5 years I've not been to office, right? So I've been working from home. My kids are not going to school, right? They are studying from home. And as Oberoi started the session, right, that everything is becoming virtual nowadays, right? So whether it's ordering food or, booking a cab and so on, right? So we are definitely looking at the new normal. And how is this new normal getting possible is primarily because of the cloud adoption that we see that has fast-tracked very rapidly. So I'll quickly share some slides, right, on our view on the cloud experience per se. And while Mitra ji covered a quite important part on the cloud security or the cyber security version, but let me also emphasize a little bit more on the same. So, we are talking about this new normal. We are adopting to this new normal very rapidly, as I mentioned earlier. But what we strongly believe or what we strongly feel today is that what has to be delivered digitally has to be delivered digitally, right? There is no second option to that, right? And in Cisco, we strongly believe, that to serve our customers, right, we have to be innovative in this new journey, right? So that we can make the organizations digitally more agile in this cloud first world. So let me look at what are the key priorities for the organizations, right? While adopting to the cloud or moving to the cloud, right? And there are 4 that we see are very critical. One is reimagine the applications, right? We are seeing a load of applications, coming up, right? Which is basically getting linked to our day-to-day work, right? So whether it's our professional life or our personal life, applications have become a lifeline, right? And most critical, right? And the data shows that there are 500 million new applications that will be written in the next 3 years. And that's going to be huge in this digital world. The second is the empowerment of team, right? As I said, right, I have not been to office, and so are most of my colleagues or the industry peers, right, who are not been going to their office and working remotely. And we still do travel for our work sometimes, and we work from hotel, we work from cafes, we work from, of course, our home and so on, right? So how do we ensure that our work experience is not impacted or affected, right? Because finally, people makes the company and not the vice versa, right? So empowering the teams will be very critical that the organizations will be looking, right, or already looking, I would say. The next is the infrastructure transformation, right? So with this cloud adoption going at a very fast track pace, we are seeing more and more devices getting connected to the internet, right? Today, 700 plus people or 800 plus people all are connected to this event virtually. So everybody is connecting through internet, right? For which there is an infrastructure that goes behind it, right? So how do we transform this infrastructure? One is to have the digital experience that we are experiencing now, but at the same time, we are also securely connecting, right? So that it ensures that the data loss protection, the vulnerability, the hacking, everything can be avoided. This, so that is the next point, which is about securing the data. So, in our interaction with various organizations in India as well as worldwide, we have experienced that the cyber security, which used to be always the last discussion or the topic for an IT department, has suddenly become the first of the discussion, right? So there is a huge investment that is going for cyber security, right? And we are also seeing the digital adaptability are moving at a much faster pace. So with all this, changes, we are seeing the business evolution where cloud is becoming the solution to many technology challenges, right? Cloud also enables us to fast track, right, to connect better and reduce the complexity, right? But at the same time, the adoption of cloud is not going to be that simple or that easy from the various organizations, because not all organizations would be an IT savvy companies, right? And we hear a lot about cloud. We hear about hybrid cloud. We hear about multi-cloud. We hear about private cloud versus public cloud. And we then hear about a lot of cloud services, which could be infrastructure as a service or platform as a service or a software as a service, right? So all that complexities are going to definitely impact the cloud adoption for the various organizations. At the same time, the security to connect, security to access data, security to respond, act is also going to be equally important. So what, the summarization I would say would be is based on the various studies, right? That the hybrid multi-cloud is definitely going to be the infrastructure that we will be looking at, but the primary focus will be on the application side, right? So it's an application centric or an application led experience that is going to be the de facto way of operating, right? The same way how we are connected today, where we are connected to multiple devices, we are using different kind of applications, we are using different kind of connectivity, and so on. So, the Cisco's value proposition, or the Cisco has done their its own transformation, I would say, right? We were traditionally always a networking company. We always claim that we build the internet and so on. But Cisco was mostly known as a networking company and a company which built on-premises data center. So how have we looked at this transformation for ourselves? So we have built solutions, right, for cloud, and of course, all this is something that we use in-house, right, and of course, deliver or give it the same to our customers, right? So we are trying to become a company which is cloud agnostic, right? So there are so many cloud service providers or so many cloud solutions that are available today in the market. So the solution that we are building should be definitely interoperable. So we are looking at as a cloud agnostic and a cloud native solution, because the applications that we were using before the pandemic, right, which were working on our physical data centers, may not work the same way when we are moving to cloud. So how do we build solutions which becomes cloud native to enable and optimize the environment, which is going to be multi-cloud, hybrid, and edge-based, right? And then comes the end-to-end secure connectivity with assurance and visibility, correct? Which probably I'll elaborate more in the coming slide. So these are the 5 pillars, right, or domains that we look at in the cloud environment. The first one is continuity. So whether we are collaborating, whether we are connecting, the work should not stop. It should be seamless, right? So that's where the continuity comes in. The insights are basically talking about the application experience. So what we use or what we see, right, is definitely in front of the screen. But what happens behind the screen, where the applications are running, connecting at different locations, connecting with different devices, connecting with different people, right? So having complete full stack observability for this application will be critical to deliver the experience that the end user would be looking at. Security, while it's a solution, but it's a domain in its own, right? And there are so many different kind of solutions that will be available under security, which will connect the edge, which could be the field location, back to the cloud or a virtual data center. So how do we ensure that end-to-end security portfolio and architecture can be designed? The next is connectivity. Right, we are looking at different connectivity solutions. There are new age connectivity solutions coming up, which is 5G, Wi-Fi 6, and so on. Right, so how do we ensure that we build the right mix or the hybrid of the network solutions and securely connect them so that again, we get a seamless experience. And then the operating model, right? Because all this is something which is beyond the boundaries of the way we were working, right? So how do we build a model where everybody collaborates, right, and gives a seamless experience? So if I look back, right, and look at the priorities, which is on the right side, which is around applications, the teams, the infrastructure, and the security, and on the left side, which are the key pillars, the primarily outcome that we would be looking is on the experience, right? So whether it's experience working, whether it's experience collaborating, whether it's experience studying, and this is not limited here. It extends to our various services, right? Whether it's health, education, and so on. So everywhere, the experience is going to be critical, and that's where we will be focusing on from delivering the solution perspective. So briefly, talking more on the security. So what we have done, right? And as Mitraji mentioned in his earlier session, and he spoke about the different approach that we are going to take around the security of the cloud. We are distributing that into three key pillars or three key domains, right? The first is securing the cloud itself, right? So any organization that would be moving to the cloud or adopting the cloud will be experiencing different clouds. So whether it's the cloud service providers, right? Whether it's the data centers that would be, where the application will be hosting, and the mobile application which will be running globally anywhere. So how do we secure the clouds? That is the first. The second would be the applications, which are definitely multiplying, and the third is a workload, which is more to ensure loss of data. The second is the zero trust security, which will be looking at end-to-end security. So as we know that there is no perimeter now, right? Like earlier, we were working in an office environment where everything used to be within the boundary of the office, right? Whether it's the servers which was having the data and the applications, whether it was the people who were using the devices which were connected in the same network, and so on, right? But today that has all gone, right? So we call it as a borderless environment for us. So how to build a zero trust end-to-end security architecture that is connecting from the devices to the cloud. The third is on the application side, right? Which is basically more and more and new applications which are coming up, right? Which requires different kind of compute, process, storage, and so on. So building and security architecture, which fits the new age applications that are getting built not only by bigger organizations, but even startups, right? Or the unicorns that we are looking at in the current scenario. So that would be the third key domains that we would be looking when we are building the entire end-to-end security architecture. Lastly, I would like to say is that we work in multiple industries, right? So personally, I manage various verticals, right? So whether it's utilities, whether it's transportation, whether it's smart cities, safe cities, agriculture, digital villages, which is part of the BharatNet, and so on. Everywhere, one thing that we are seeing or experiencing is that people are moving towards cloud without, basically considering the key points, right? Which is the security part of it, right? And we have seen incidents happening which can be a major impact, like some of the impacts that are globally seen or even in India. For example, somebody can probably hack a utility station, right? And it can completely the electricity supply, right? Or it could be, hacking of a smart city command center where they can take control of the entire city operations and jeopardize the urban local bodies operations with day-to-day operations, delivering citizen services, right? Or it could be basically hacking critical citizens' data, right? Which can be misused in multiple ways and options. So before any cloud adoption happens, that's the first gyan that we give to our customers and partners, is that building the architecture and following the architecture in the way, in a modular way, is the way to go, right? To reach to the final zone. So that's the concluding statement I would like to make here, right? And back to you. Thanks so much.